Hey Arty, Jasmine, and Autumn. I love you guys. Sorry about my hair. It's a little bit of a mess. I've been trying to lay down to get rid of a migraine, and good amount of it's going, but it's getting pretty late, and I wanted to make sure I got a video in as opposed to not being able to get any video in if I ended up sleeping too long. And I do have to try and go to work. Um, So I'm going to see how far I can get. I'm going to read from Frindle, and then if I'm still up for it, I might read from the Marvel book. Let's see, where do we leave off? Right there. So we're on Ripples. But life did settle back to normal in Westfield. More leaves fell, Thanksgiving came, then the first snow, then Christmas, and more snow. Fall and winter seemed to calm everything down and drive everyone into their own houses. Things are calmer at Lincoln Elementary School, too. Friendomania was over, but that didn't mean the word was gone. Not at all. All the kids, and even some of the teachers, used the new word. At first it was on purpose, then it became a habit, and by the middle of February, Frindle was just a word, like door, or tree, or hat. People in Westfield barely noticed it anymore. In the rest of the country, things were hopping. Frindle was on the move. In hundreds of little towns and big cities from coast to coast, kids were using the new word, and parents and teachers were trying to stop it. What had happened in Westfield happened over and over and over again. Bud Lawrence couldn't have been happier. There were Frindle shirts and sunglasses and erasers and notebooks and paper and dozens of other items. The new line of Frindles imported from Japan were a big hit, and now there was a talk of selling them in Japan and Europe as well. The checks that went into Nick's trust fund got bigger and bigger. Bud opened his own factory in Westfield to make Frindle baseball caps, which created jobs for 22 people. And in March, the town council voted to put up a little sign on the post below the town's name along Route 302. It said, "Home of the original Frindle." And Miss Granger? She seemed to have given up. Or perhaps she had been ordered to. No one knew. Her poster about the forbidden word had quietly disappeared from the bulletin board, and kids were not staying after school writing sentences anymore. It was business as usual, except for one thing. See the sign. Home of the original Frindle. Everyone in 5th grade got at least one word wrong on his or her spelling test each week. Every week, the first word at the top of Miss Granger's list was pen. And each Friday during the spelling test, every kid spelled it Frindle. Nick was sort of a celebrity for a while. Everyone had seen him on The Late Show and Good Morning America, and 2 or 3 other TV shows. John and Chris and all his friends kept asking about what it was like to ride in a limousine. After a week or two, though, it was old news, and everyone seemed to forget it and move on. The only person who couldn't quite forget about everything was Nick. So that's the end of that chapter. Okay, so I'm going to read from chapter 4 of this. The next morning, Sam woke to loud shouting coming from the common room. He stumbled out of bed, throwing on his wing pack. What could it be? Could villains have broken in to the Avengers Tower? Were they under attack? But it was nothing of the sort. Sam arrived to find Quicksilver and Hawkeye involved in a screaming match. You better step back, Archer. Don't forget you're talking to a hero with actual superpowers, not just a bent stick with string on it. Hero, ha, that's a laugh. I've helped save the world. You're just a newbie with an attitude. What's going on here? Sam asked with genuine surprise as he stepped between the two angry Avengers. Amid the shouted insults, Sam pieced the story together. Gimme! It turned out Sam's rotating schedule had them both used in the training room that morning, and the two couldn't agree on which program to use, target practice or speed practice. The argument started small, but quickly heated up to personal insults. Your practice schedule, that's a cause of this, Falcon. Asked Falcon. I've got to keep up my skills, said Hawkeye, waving his bow. You sure do. In fact, let's see how well you do without that thing, said Quicksilver, zipping up at blurring speed, yanking Hawkeye's bow away from him and racing around the room with it. Hey, give me that, shouted Hawkeye. I may not be able to keep up with you, but I can aim more than an arrow. He started throwing bases, lamps, and anything else he could get his hands on at Quicksilver. Stop it, both of you, shouted Sam. You're behaving like children. Wait, do you hear something? Asked Quicksilver. Sure enough, they all heard more shouting come from the hallway. This time it was female voices. Within seconds, the door slammed open, and in came Black Widow and the Scarlet Witch, yelling at each other. You're supposed to use your powers on the bad guys, Wanda, not your allies. It's called teamwork. You might want to try it sometime. Now what? Sam asked them. Like the schedule said, they should be. Both Black Widow and the Scarlet Witch were out on patrol when the gang of villains known as the Wrecking Crew was spotted battling a few police officers. Widow and Scarlet Witch both responded, trying to help. The only problem, they both went after the Wrecking Crew's leader, Bulldozer. The Scarlet Witch threw a hex at Bulldozer, but it missed and hit the nearby Widow instead. Teamwork also means not blocking your partner's shots, I bet. The Wrecking Crew were eventually caught, but according to Widow, the situation could have turned out much worse. Wanda wasn't watching out for me, Widow complained to Sam. I need teammates who have my back, not ones who shoot at my back. It was my fault, shouted Scarlet Witch. Widow jumped in where she wasn't needed and crossed my line of fire. Where she wasn't needed? That's Hawkeye incredulously. Black Widow's always needed in a fight. He ended clearly taking Widow's side. If my sister says it wasn't her fault, then it wasn't her fault, shouted Quicksilver, sticking up for the Scarlet Witch. Before long, Vision entered, watching the whole argument in confusion. It's clear that he didn't understand these very human conflicts. Soon the argument turned into a four-way shouting fight, with Sam trying to calm everyone down, but he wasn't even able to make himself heard over everyone else. Oh man, what would Cap do in this situation, Sam asked himself, but before he could figure it out, the tower's alarm went off so loudly that everyone stopped and turned to check the wall screen. What's the situation, Jarvis? Sam asked the computer. I'm afraid it's a red alert, sir, reported the disembodied voice of Jarvis. Ultron is using his robot troops to attack somewhere in the city. Ultron, the evil robot bent on destroying all of mankind? Oh, great. Fakes. So it just says it's getting kind of slowed down for, you know what I'm saying, for, what's his name, for Brendel? Nick. And, heating up for Sam. So, I'm gonna, leave off on that note. I'll, do at least another video, maybe two for you guys tomorrow. I love you. Hope you guys are behaving for your mom and you're going to bed on time. And Arty, hopefully you're being a good example for your sisters. Love you. Miss you, and I'll talk to you guys soon.